Okay, so I'll share my screen and start the recording with your permission, if there is no issue. Hope it is visible and I am loud and clear. So we may start. My name is Shutanu Sadhavan. I am your facilitator for the live weekly interactive session of NPTEL course code AR18. This is the 10th week for the session. I am a PhD student at IIT Bombay under the PMRF category. So I am a TA for the NPTEL. The course title is Urban Utilities Planning, Water Supply, Sanitation and Drainage under the instruction of Dr. Debapratim Pandit, who is a professor of IIT Kharagpur at the Department of Architecture and Regional Planning. So today is September 29th, and after this session, the entire all the sessions of the September month will be over, and in the month of October, before your exam, only two sessions will be left. That is on one is on 6th October and another one is on 13th October. Those two are the last sessions of this course. So hopefully everything is going well with your studies. If you have any doubt, you can raise it in the discussion forum before the final exam, and also you can discuss the same in the rest of the two sessions which are left. I am declaring it for those who will be watching this recording later. Okay. So now today's session will start with a famous quote by a very popular person who is a stand-up comedian at USA. His name is George Carlin, who has stated, "Never underestimate the power of stupid people in a large group." So we'll understand why I am starting today's session with this quote at a later stage when we'll be discussing one statement that is recently made by one member of parliament in a state. So that statement was perfectly scientifically correct, but people, due to their habitual nature, they actually started mocking her. And this statement was related with measurement of water. So that's why it is important in our session. Okay. So now we'll start today's session with the last MCQ that we solved in our previous class. It was something like this: which one of the following IDF curve generation techniques is suitable to predict extreme values of rainfalls? Example, maximum rainfall. So maximum rainfall is an extreme value of rainfall. So the options were given as option A, log normal distribution, option B, Campbell's extreme value distribution, option C was log Pearson's type 3 distribution, and option D was sewage stormwater volume distribution. And as I promised you in the last class, that after this MCQ I will be solving another MCQ so that you may have a proper understanding of what IDF curve actually looks like. Welcome, Chelamallu Horiprasad. We just have started our session. Yeah. So the correct answer of the last class's last question was Gamble's extremal distribution, as P. Horibabu correctly stated. So now we will solve another MCQ which will give you some idea what IDF curve looks like. So the next MCQ is as follows. Consider the following figure of the mass curve for estimating the storage capacity of the water supply tank. So this is how the curve looks like, IDF curve, which is also known as the mass curve, where you can see there is a plot between the accumulated flow versus time. So the time is given is in hours. So within a 24-hour or 1 day time period, you can see how the flow is getting accumulated. Okay. So this is called as the S-shaped curve is called as the supply curve. And if you take a 45-degree line passing through the origin, the difference, the maximum difference of the portion of the curve that is under the line is called as the A, and the maximum difference that is lying uh, maximum difference between the supply curve and this line, straight line, that is lying above, when the supply curve is above the straight line, this difference is called as the B, and it is given that A is greater than B in our question. Okay, so accumulated flow A is greater than the accumulated flow B. Now, based on this curve for estimating the storage capacity of the water supply tank, you have been given uh, the question where you have to calculate the storage capacity of the tank, and the options are: option A is capital A, option B is capital B, option C is capital A minus capital B, and option D is capital A plus capital B. You have 2 minutes time before you type the correct answer in the chat box. Both of you, please try. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Yeah, so Chelamanlu Hariprasad has given the answer as the option C, A minus B. P. Haribabu, I'll wait for 1 more minute before giving the answer. Okay, so let's discuss the solution. I hope, let's see. So the explanation is as follows. The storage required is taken as the sum of the two maximum ordinates between demand and supply curve. So the straight line that you can see, it is also called as the demand curve, right? And this one is the supply curve. Now the storage required will be the summation of the supply curve and the demand curve. So what should be the answer? It should be option D. Option A, sorry, capital A plus capital B should be the answer when A is greater than B. Now, why it is so? That we have discussed in a problem in our last class. So if you just go through the problem, you will be able to understand how the storage is calculated basically based on the fluctuation, the maximum and the minimum fluctuations between the supply curve and the demand curve. Okay, so the difference is summed up so that the storage volume can absorb the maximum deficit in supply and maximum excess in supply. Both the conditions should be accommodated in the storage volume of the storage tank. So that's why A and B are summed up together. So we have also discussed this thing in a graphical manner in a problem in our last class. So if you have not watched it, I will recommend you to either go through the slide or watch the recording for a better understanding. Okay, so we'll move on to our next MCQ. Which one of the following is not a component of capital cost concerning stormwater drainage projects? Option A is engineering design and supervisory charges. Option B is cost of pumping machineries and their installations. Option C is interest charges on loans taken. And option D is transportation charges. Okay. So again, I will wait for a couple of minutes before you give the correct the correct answer in the chat box. Which one of the following is not a component of capital cost concerning stormwater drainage projects? Three of the, as it is a MCQ, so one of option might be correct. Three of the options should be a component of the capital cost concerning SWTP, and one will not be a component of this. Okay, Chelamallo Kodiposad has given the answer and he has left. So we will see the correct answer. So correct answer is basically option D, that is transportation charges. Transportation charges is not a component of the capital cost concerning stormwater drainage projects. Okay, all the other components are true for stormwater projects. Okay, now so B is not a correct answer. Now we'll move on to our next MCQ. The optimal pit emptying frequency in years of a leach pit is. Option A is 1 to 2, option B is 1.5 to 3, option C is 2 to 4, option D is 2.5 to 5. What is the range of the optimum pit emptying frequency in years of a leach pit? The range of years are provided. I'll wait for again 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so we will move on to the answer. The correct answer is option B, that is 1.5 to 3 years. It is the correct frequency for emptying a leach pit, optimal frequency. Okay, so this is the year gap basically. I mean, beyond which you cannot wait for emptying a leach pit. Within this time period, you have to uh, empty your leach pit. Now, next MCQ is we have to define rainfall intensity index. Option A is it is the ratio of the observed rainfall intensity to the rainfall intensity which will cause flooding. Option B is it is the ratio of the incoming storm flow rate to the pumping rate. Option C is uh, ratio of the total flood prone area to the total area. And option D is percentage of the catchment which is impervious. Which one of the following four is the definition of rainfall intensity index? Take a time to think. Take 1 or 2 minutes. Welcome, Rajesh TN. P. Horibabu has given option A as the answer. We look at the correct option.
Thank you, sir.
So yes, option A is the correct answer. Ratio of the observed rainfall intensity to the rainfall intensity that will cause flooding. It is defined as the rainfall intensity index. Now we will move on to our next MSQ, which is a multiple select question. So more than one option may or may not be correct. So stormwater inlet spacing is based on option A, geometry of the site. Option B is inlet opening capacity. Option C is tributary drainage magnitude, and option D is soil characteristics at the inlet. Again, take your time to think about the answer and give the correct answer in the chat box. Okay, so we'll move on to our answer. So these three are the correct options. Stormwater inlet spacing is based on geometry of the site, inlet opening capacity, and tributary drainage magnitude. It is not dependent on the soil characteristics at the inlet. Okay, stormwater basically your rainwater, but after it falls on the ground. So soil characteristics is not used for designing the inlet spacing. Why? Because it has nothing to do with stormwater. Rain is the contributor for this stormwater, right? So it is the answer. Now the explanation is inlet spacing is based on the geometry of the site, inlet opening capacities, and or tributary drainage magnitudes. Now next MSQ is again multiple select question. Select the correct statements regarding the egg-shaped shear. Option A is suitable for handling large flows. Option B is maintains required velocities at minimum flows. Option C is at peak flows. Sediments at the bottom V portion are washed out. And option D is maximum hydraulic mean depth. Okay. Take a couple of minutes to think and type the correct answer in the chat box. Oh, sorry. The screen is unshared. Okay, just wait. Here's the question. Uh, yeah, you should have told me. Yeah. So this was the question, right? We'll look at the. Oh, sorry. You have typed it in the chat box. Uh, yeah. So these are the correct statements regarding the X-shaped shear. It is suitable for handling large flows. It maintains maximum velocity at minimum flows, and at peak flows, sediments at the bottom V portion are washed up. The explanation is as follows. So circular shewers have the least perimeters for a given area and therefore maximum hydraulic mean depths. Okay. This is how an egg-shaped sewer looks like. So you can see whenever you want to reduce the flow but increase the velocity through a plastic pipe, I mean plastic pipe of high flexibility, what do? You basically decrease the area by your hand, right? If you decrease the area, the flow gets reduced, but the velocity increases. So the idea of the egg-shaped sewer with a bottom V portion is similar, but for if you use the circular sewer, what will happen? The perimeter will be the least, but in case of egg-shaped sewer, the perimeter is more than in case of circular sewer. Okay. Now we'll move on to our next MCQ or multiple choice question. Option, what is a catch pit or a catch basin? Option A is a flat terrain that moves runoff, forming wide watershed. Option B is a type of inlet structure used to retain sediments and or debris transported by the stormwater. Option C is a pit that connects to the ground level to the openings in sewer lines for maintenance purposes. And option D is a basin used to attend self-cleaning velocity in flat terrain. Again, I will wait for 1 minute for you to think about the answer. One option will be correct in this case. Yeah. So we'll move on to our answer. So option B is the correct answer. Catch pit or a catch basin is a type of inlet structure used to retain sediments and or debris transported by storm. This is how a catch pit or catch basin looks like. There is an inlet outlet pipe. This is the inlet pipe. This is the outlet pipe of the catch basin. The storm water comes, and because the storm water flows to the ground after rainfall, will be many debris present in the storm water. So that will, by the action of gravity, it will be deposited, and fresh water will go through the outlet pipe, and there is one gate also. So basically, uh, the storm water that is above the ground, that will come through this grate into this catch, and there is card outside. Okay. Now next is there a problem we have to solve. It is as follows. So a sewer is laid at 1 in 400 slope. So it is 1 by 400 slope. The diameter of the sewer is 160 centimeter. Assume n equals to 0.015 in Manning's formula, and the sewer is running half full. So half full means half of total of its area is weighted. Now I hope you remember the Manning's formula to solve the problem. If you have watched Dr. Pondit's lecture, then you will be able to remember. Otherwise, we will discuss. No issue. Considering the above sewer data, you have to answer the following questions. Number one is, what is the velocity in meter per second of the flow in the sewer, that you have to determine. Okay. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes. You calculate the velocity of the flow in the sewer based on the Manning's formula. Even if you do not remember, then also you can tell me. We will directly discuss the solution. We will not wait for longer. Okay, so I think we should discuss the solution instead. So the data given is first the diameter, which is given as 1.6 meter. That means small r, that is your radius will be 0.8 meter, right? And I is nothing but your slope. It is given as 1 in 40 slope. So it will be 1 by 40. The diameter is given as 160 centimeter divided by 100 means 1.6 meter. Radius became 1.6 by 2 equals to 0.8 meter and slope is given as 1 in 40, so 1 by 400. Now Manning's formula, I think you were unable to remember that. So it is given as following: V equals to m to the power 2/3 into root over I divided by n, which is equals to m to the power 2/3 into root over I divided by 0.015. As in the question, n value is given as 0.015 to use in Manning's formula. So we have written it like this way. Okay. Now weighted area by weighted perimeter equals to something called as hydraulic radius, or M. This M that you see in the Manning's formula, V is a function of hydraulic radius. Okay. Now this hydraulic radius for sewer running 1/2 full can be written like this way: pi d square by 8 whole divided by d plus pi d by 2. We will see how we are writing this hydraulic radius in this format. So if you just look at the picture of the half full uh, half full sewer, you will see this is how it looks like, right? It is half full, so half of the area is full. Now the definition of the hydraulic radius is weighted area by weighted perimeter. So if you see this total area of any circular cross section of diameter d, the total area will be pi r square or pi d square by 4. Now half of that will be pi d square by 8. Pi d square by 4 by 2 equals to pi d square by 8. It will be your weighted area. Okay. Divided by weighted perimeter. If you just look at the perimeter of the weighted portion within the sewer, it will be this diameter summation of this half of this circular perimeter, right? So this diameter is nothing but this d, plus if the total perimeter is 2 pi r or pi d, then half of the perimeter will be pi d by 2. So hopefully you are able to understand this terminology. Okay. So weighted area by weighted perimeter for a circular sewer of circular sewer which is running half full, it will be given as like this. So hydraulic radius will be, if we simplify this further, it will be something like this. So we just divided both the denominator and numerator with diameter d. So it became pi d by 8 whole divided by 1 plus pi by 2. If we uh, multiply the denominator and numerator with 8, it will be pi d divided by 8 plus 4 pi. Again, we are dividing both numerator and denominator with pi. So pi d became d divided by this 4 pi by pi means 4 plus 8 by pi. So this is the simplified format of the hydraulic radius of a sewer which is running under half full condition. So this value After calculation, we will put in the Manning's formula in order to get the value of V, which is nothing but your velocity, right? As it is asked in our question. So now, if we just put the D in terms of the R or radius, it will be so D is your 2R, and after putting D as 2R, we divided both numerator and denominator with 2. So 2R becomes R, and this 4 plus 8 pi became 2 plus 4 pi after dividing by 2 in the both denominator and numerator. Okay. So which is nothing but equals to 0.4 meter divided by 1 plus 2 into 0.31831. How we are getting this? So this is R divided by 2 plus 4 by pi. Now again we divided this numerator and denominator with 2. So R is 0.8. After dividing it with 2, it becomes 0.4 meter, and it becomes 1 plus 2 by pi. So 1 plus 2 into pi inverse. This 0.31831 is the value of the pi inverse. So after simplification, it gives you a value something like this, 0.244 meters, which is nothing but the value of your M or hydraulic radius. Now you have to put this value into our equation. So we obtained the answer by substituting values of N, that is already given, M that we have just calculated, and I is the slope, which is given as 1 by 400. So the solution will be V equals to, the value of M is 0.24441 to the power 2 by 3 whole into root under of 1 by 400, which is nothing but 0.0025, whole divided by the value of capital N, which is nothing but 0.015 as given in the question. Upon simplification, the entire term, the answer comes out to be 1.303 meters per second. It is your correct velocity. Okay. So what is the velocity of the flow in this UR is 1.303 meter per second, that you have calculated. Now the next problem is, what is the discharge in meter cube per second flowing through this UR, that you will have to calculate. So again I will wait for 2 minutes for you to calculate the answer. So after you obtain the velocity from the Manning's formula, it is very easy to calculate the discharge. It is just the weighted area multiplied by the velocity. That will give you, so meter squared into meter per second will give you meter cube per second discharge. Okay. So it is easy to calculate. You should be able to answer. I will wait for 2 minutes. velocity you have calculated as 1.303. Just multiply it with the weighted area. Okay, so we'll proceed with the solution. It should be easy here. You should be able to calculate. Now, the solution is as follows. Data estimated earlier was small r. Radius was estimated as 0.8 meter from the diameter of 1.6 meter. Velocity from the Manning's formula was calculated to be 1.303 meter per second. Now the solution will be the volumetric rate of discharge that is asked in the question is given as Q equals to weighted area into velocity, as I told. So again, if you look at the picture, this is the weighted area. So if the total area is capital A, the weighted area will be capital A by 2 into velocity V as it is given in the question, which is equals to area will be pi r square by 2 into V. Now r is given as 0.8 meters, so pi r square will be 0.64. Pi into 0.64 by 2, that means pi into 0.32 into 1.303 meter per second gives you 1.31 meter cube per second, which is the volumetric rate of discharge. Now our next MCQ is, which one amongst the following items connects ground level to the opening in the sewer line for maintenance? Option A is manholes, option B is gutters, option C is inlets, and option D is culverts. Take 1 minute of time to think. Which one among the following items connects ground level to the opening in sewer line for maintenance? It is very easy question. You should be able to answer. If you know the meaning of these things, manholes, gutters, inlets, culverts. Gutters means basically your drain, and inlet is the inlet of any pipe. So what should be the answer? Gutter and inlets, I don't think They should be the answer. So the correct answer is manholes. Manhole is the hole which basically connects your ground level to the opening of sewer lines that is present underground. Sometimes what happens that in a poor country, people generally sometimes steal the cover of the manholes. So what happens, the if there is flooding and the area is covered with water, and somehow the water is not going to the sewer line, it is jammed, then what happens that people walking on the road, they may go inside the manhole. So, such accidents has happened before. So now that's why what they do, they don't use metallic covers for manholes. They basically use cemented or yes, cemented covers for manholes, and they keep it sealed under sealed condition. Whenever you have to repair or something, you have to uh, do some maintenance of the sewer line, you have to break the periphery of the circular lid covering the manhole. Then again you have to remove. But the similar way it is done in our septic tank also, which is present in our household sanitation system. Okay. Now, in the beginning of today's session, we actually we showed you one quotation that it is very dangerous for for whenever there is a stupid people in large number of groups. So that has happened recently in West Bengal. You will see. So there was one in the state of West Bengal and different parts of the eastern India. There was flooding, and the authority or people who are member of the parliaments, they went in that area to observe, okay, to see whether what is the quantity of damage that has occurred to the local people because of the flood. So uh, there is one parliamentary constituency, PC, called as Hooghly district. So the MP or member of parliament of Hooghly district has stated one statement. So, but the mass majority of the people in social media and many of the places, what they just started mocking her without any reason because of rage for the government or whatsoever. So, because of some political agents, that is not our agenda to discuss in the class. But whatever the statement of the member of parliament was, that was perfectly scientific in nature, and that is also related to what measurement of quantity of water. It was something to do with a large number of water, large quantity of water. So she expressed the quantity in quintals, let's say. So if you if in English we just say that there are thousands and thousands of something, or lakhs and lakhs of something, or crores or something, or you may say that in unit terms also, kgs and kgs of something, or liters and liters of something. You basically denote a large quantity, right? So she expressed the quantity in quintals, the quantity of water in quintals, and people started mocking her without any reason, because people has certain basic fundamental problem in conceptual understanding. So as it is related in the with the measurement of water, so that's why I thought we should clarify the concepts in this class. So if my students also, if they have certain misunderstanding regarding the concepts, and for those also, as the recorded lecture will be uploaded in the YouTube, so they will be also be able to access and watch and clarify their concept on quantity of liquid water or any fluid. Okay, so if we assume engineering approximation for the chemical compound symbolized as H2O or water, we get the following. So there are two major states. One is solid or ice, and another one is fluid. So solid means it has got a fixed volume, and fluid means we all know that it may either be liquid water or it may be in gaseous form steam. We are not going to the plasma state, which is a fourth special state of matter. We are not going to that state, but basically more or less if we consider engineering of approximation, there will be three states. One is solids. Now, there will be two states, solids and fluids, based on the volume, because if we keep fluid in a particular volume, it will take the shape of that particular container, right? It may be two types, liquid and gaseous, and under atmospheric pressure. Okay, these are the assumptions. Now, quantity of any matter, example liquid water, can be measured in terms of either mass or volume. This is not mass per volume, this is mass or volume. You can not only the solid, but also liquid, you can measure in terms of mass or volume. Okay, either you can measure in terms of volume or you can measure in terms of mass for all types of matter, be it a gas, be it a solid, or be it a liquid. Okay, all three types of three states of matter can be measured in terms of mass or volume, and also measured in terms of other things also. But we are just focused here on the mass and the volume. Okay. Now, quintal is a unit of mass. If you remember from your school level education, 1 quintal equals to 100 kgs in MKS or SI system, and which is further equals to 1 liter. So 1 lakhs of grams. Okay, because 100 kg means 100 into 1000 grams means 1 lakhs of grams in CGS system. So these are the two different systems of measuring the mass. One is MK system or SI system, where mass is measured in terms of kg, and another is CGS system, where the mass is measured in terms of grams. There are also other systems like FPS system, where mass is measured in terms of pounds. We are not going there. Now, quintal is another unit. If we just compare between the CGS and MK system, it will give you like this. Okay. Now, example of volumetric system, volumetric units are liter, cc, ml. Liter means liters, or uh, basically 1 cubic decimeter, kilohector, decameter, decicentimeter. Yes. So deci is 1 cubic, decimeter means 1 liter, 1 cc means cubic centimeter, and ml means milliliters. Okay. So 1 liter means 1000 ml and 1 ml means 1 cc. Cc means cubic centimeter. Now, though major market practice is to express the quantity of liquid water in terms of volumetric units for convenience in packaging, it is perfectly scientific way to express the same, that is the quantity of liquid water, in terms of quintal units that measures mass, because mass is a more fundamental property of matter even for the measurement of fluid quantities like liquid water or gas steam. Density and volume both are temperature and pressure dependent properties, but mass does not change with varying temperature and pressure. So you can see that as you vary the temperature, the density and the volume may vary, but mass of the any mass of any compound or component, just like water, it will not vary with temperature. Even if the water becomes ice, or even if the water becomes gas. So it is not necessary that you have to convert the liquid water into solid ice in order to express it in quintal. No, in its liquid form itself, you can express the quantity of water in quintals. and it is perfectly scientific to say that. Okay, but because of people have seen that there is water bottles and all. So if you buy a let's say cold drinks bottle from the market, it is written there as 1 liter. It is not written there in kgs or something. So it is because of their convenience, because convenience of packaging. The bottles are the packaging companies who manufacture these bottles. They are they supply to multiple companies. So for the same company of supplying the bottles, the size of the bottle will be fixed. But whenever the packaging will be done by the cold drinks company, or let's say drinking water companies, the packaging may done in different conditions. It may, in under different temperatures. So one may be packing it in UK, another one may be packing it in Africa. So the temperature in these two places will be different. People may be angry that see we are not getting the maximum amount of water within the particular amount of volume because of the temperature difference. They may say that we want for the packaging to happen at a particular temperature 4 degrees centigrade. So that's why it is their convenience, because of the bottle size is generally the fixed. So that's why they express it in the volume. The liquid thing they express in the volume, but that doesn't mean that liquid cannot be measured in terms of mass units, just like the quintal. So it is perfectly scientific way to say the any express any water quantity as quintals and quintals of that water to say that to express a huge amount of water. Okay, now Cusack and Cumac both are units for volumetric flow rates, that is volume per second. So if you are measuring a static quantity, it may be a mass or volume, but if you are measuring a flow rate, just as we solved a earlier problem where you had to calculate the discharge rate in terms of volumetric flow rate, meter cube per second, right? Meter cube per second means cubic. In engineering terms it is called as cubic, and in let's say FPS unit, it is called as cusec, means cubic feet per second, and 1 cubic means 35.315 cusecs approximately. Okay, but this is volumetric flow rate. So volume, mass, volumetric flow rate, mass flow rate, all are different properties of matter. You can measure the matter as per your convenience. So whichever way you choose as per your convenience will be correct only. And based on that property, you have to select any unit as you like. You may choose, if you choose to measure the mass of the water and you want to give a public statement, you can choose any unit of your convenience. You may say tons, you may say kgs, you may say quintal, all are perfectly fine. Even if you choose a volumetric unit, that is also perfectly fine. If you say liters or gallons, that may that are also perfectly fine. And also if you say in terms of volumetric flow rate units like meter cube per second or cusecs, that are also perfectly fine. So whatever the statement was given by uh, that particular person of the administration was perfectly fine. So that is just for the knowledge of the general public. I just stated this. So now in the next slide we will be looking at the density of the liquid water. So some basic clarifications are required on that also. So if you see the range minus 30 degrees centigrade to 110 degrees centigrade under the atmospheric pressure, this is the green line indicates the how the density of the water varies. Density in gram per cc or kg per liter, both are same units. So you will see at around 4 degrees centigrade, or yes, at around 4 degrees centigrade also, the density is the highest. It is 1. But even if you consider this range, so from 0 degrees centigrade to 100 degrees centigrade under atmospheric pressure, water is in liquid condition. Beyond 100 degrees centigrade, it is in gas, and below your 0 degree centigrade under atmospheric pressure, it is solid ice. Even if you modify the pressure slightly and keep it liquid under this condition, minus 30 to 110, then also the variation of the density will be above 0.95. So water at atmospheric condition, whatever the temperature be, it will be around 1 only. So approximately you can assume that 1 liter of water means 1 kg of water. Approximately you can assume it because it will be above 950. So 0.95 kg per meter cube or 0.95 kg per liter or 0.95, sorry, not kg per meter cube, kg per liter or gram per cc. This will be always true for water under atmospheric pressure, whatever the temperature be. Okay. So 1 quintal of water means 100 liters of water under atmospheric pressure. 1 quintal of water, it is equivalent to, this is the equivalent sign here. So 1 quintal of water is equivalent to 100 liters of water. So if you say hundreds and hundreds of liters, that is equivalent to say quintals and quintals of water. Okay, so it is a perfectly scientific way to say that there is nothing wrong in it. Whatever the market practice be, that doesn't mean that the statement was incorrect. That was my message here. Okay, so hopefully the concept was clear to you also. If you had any doubt regarding the volumetric thing and the mass thing of the water, so why even if the volume, if you buy some oil or let's say uh, your let's say you are buying some milk from the market, you will see that the unit is written as the volumetric units in liters or something, but that doesn't mean that if you say this many kgs or this many grams of that liquid, there is nothing wrong in it if you say like that way. Okay, and you should and you must educate and teach people whenever people say to you that see it is uh, liquid cannot be expressed in kgs or grams. So it is a very, I mean, it's a very unfortunate that even after a madhyamik level, that is the 10th level of primary education, people are coming up with this kind of ideology. That it is very unfortunate for, and it is a shame for us as an Indian that we say like this way. Okay, so it is not a what can I say? It is not a way how an educated nation should respond. This is what keeps us behind. This is what actually prevents us from going further. Okay, so okay, so we'll now. So to reiterate, I am not supporter of any particular political party. I am just in opposition of whatever is against the scientific view. Okay. So yeah, Rajesh, want to say something? You can say.
Sir, actually, I have a doubt regarding not this one, which you have explained there, just to measure the quantity of water, both the mass and volumetric measurement is okay, and not regarding that stuff. Regarding that Manning's formula, which we just explained before, when we take that vector perimeter, am I audible, sir?
You are audible, but your voice is
Sir, am I
cutting.
audible?
Your voice is cutting. So if you are
Okay.
if you are okay, so if you are having doubt regarding the Manning's formula, I will say that we'll again solve one problem based on the Manning's formula to clarify your doubt. So
Okay.
we will
Okay.
again solve another formula, another problem. So there your doubt will be clarified. I hope. Okay. So
Actually, my doubt is regarding, sir. Actually, my specific doubt.
uh,
Hello,
you are
sir.
audible,
Am I
but your
audible?
voice is not clear. Please.
Okay, okay. Then continue, sir. I will ask at that time. Okay.
Okay. You can either type in the chat box or you can raise in the discussion forum also. No issues. And anyways, we will be solving another problem based on the Manning's formula. So what I will say that see the Manning's formula, whenever you have to use that, it will be mentioned in the question. So you just have to remember the formula, but you don't have to remember the aspects where to use the Manning's formula. No, that thing will be mentioned in the question, that here you have to use the Manning's formula to calculate the velocity. That's all. There you have to just remember from your head that it is your something like m to the power 2 by 3 into I into 1 by n. That means divided by n. N will be given in the question. I is the slope and m is your hydraulic radius. The definition of hydraulic radius is weighted area by weighted perimeter. Whenever it is told in the question to use the Manning's formula, then you have to use. We'll solve another problem to clarify it. So now, okay. So now next one is another MCQ. What are check dams? Option A is small temporary dams constructed before a swell across a drainage ditch in order to reduce runoff velocities and or resulting erosions. Option B is temporary fences with filter fabric held by wooden post or wire mesh. Option C is a constructed terrace in order to retain water, and option D is erosion protection structures made by holding boulders. Which one among the following is called as the check dam? Is it temporary fences? It is a constructed terrace, or check dams are erosion protection structures, or the first one. Okay. Oh, P. Horibabu has given the answer as option A. Good. We will see. So yeah, you are correct. Check dams are small temporary dams constructed before a swell across drainage ditch in order to reduce runoff velocities and or resulting erosions. So you can see there are check dams. Only the option one contains the term dam. So that's why you may have selected this one. So anyways, now we'll move on to what? Next problem. So this is again another problem where the idea on Manning's formula will be clarified. Yeah, option A. So a circular sewer is laid at 1 in 250 slope. The diameter of the sewer is 60 centimeter. Assume Manning's coefficient n to be 0.015 in Manning's formula, and sewer is running at full flow. Now, considering the above sewer data, you have to answer the following questions. Number one is again, what is the velocity in meter per second of the flow in the sewer? If you have understood the last problem, you should be able to answer this problem. The Manning's formula I have retold you. Now the I value, it was in I value was in last problem as 1 by 400. In this problem, it is 1 by 250. N value is, they have kept it the same. The diameter has changed to 60 centimeters. That means 0.6 meters. That means radius will be 0.3 meter, right? Now in the previous problem, you had to assume half flow. It is a more easier problem. You have to consider full flow for calculating the value of m, that is your hydraulic radius in Manning's formula. M to the power 2/3 will be there. So m value will be weighted area by weighted perimeter, whatever it will be based on the question. So yeah, I will be wait for 3 minutes. I'll be waiting for 3 minutes after the before giving you the answer solution. Rajesh, if you are having doubt, you can type in the chat box regarding the Manning's formula or anything else. Hopefully, after this problem, it will be easier for you. So in the questions, it will be mentioned. The term Manning will be mentioned for calculation of the velocity based on the CUR, circular CUR. Okay. So I'll be waiting for 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Just try this one out. So hopefully, okay, have stated some doubt regarding weighted perimeter. It is the perimeter for the pipe where water touches. Is it weighted? Okay. That you are saying. Yeah, it may so happen. I mean, see, we will see this problem. Weighted area by weighted perimeter means your DM. That is the hydraulic radius. Yeah. So now you are telling regarding the weighted perimeter. Uh, yeah, we'll see in the pro. So while calculating the weighted perimeter, we will look at the doubt. So now we will solve the problem. Data is given as D or diameter is 0.6 meter, means radius will be 0.3 meter, and slope is given as 1 in 250, that means 1 by 250. Now Manning formula is given as V equals to m or hydraulic radius to the power 2 by 3 into root over I divided by n. I means slope, n value is given as in the question to be 0.015 that we have put in the value of V. So it became m to the power 2 by 3 into root over I divided by 0.015, which is nothing but equals to a function of your hydraulic radius and slope, because n value constantly we have put that in the terminology for V. Now for calculating the hydraulic radius, which is also stated as RH in meter, it will be weighted area by weighted perimeter. Okay. Now if we see for circular pipe, that is full flow as stated in our question, so no free surface is present. In this case, this as you can see from the picture, this will be your perimeter and this will be your area through which the water is flowing. So the diameter is D and this is your perimeter. So hydraulic radius will be your weighted area. So full area is present for flowing the water. So it will be pi r square. R means d by 2. So area will be pi d squared by 4. And the total area will be 2 pi r. That means pi into d. If you just simplified this, pi got cancelled out. This d was made it into d square was converted to d and by 4. So this weighted area by weighted perimeter will be d by 4. Now r is d by 2. So d by 4 became r by 2. So r is so that means 0.6 by 4, or r is given in the question as 0.3. So after putting this and after simplification 0.3 by 2, it came out to be 0.15, which is the value of the RH or M. Okay. Now we obtained the answer by substituting again the values of N, M and I. So the solution will be V equals to 0.0 sorry. So the value of the hydraulic radius was calculated as 0.15. The M value is 0.15 to the power 2/3 into root over of 1 by 250 was 0.004 whole divided by the value of N as it is given in the question 0.015. After simplification, it came out to be 1.19 meter per second, which is your velocity based on the Manning's formula. Now, whatever you are asking is how we calculated the weighted perimeter here, right? Weighted perimeter of the pipe where the water touches. Uh, you see,
Sir, am I audible right now, sir?
yes.
Sir, actually, why I asked that question is that I have a little bit confusion regarding that because in the that when we give the full flow and the half flow, the ratio of velocity seems to be one. That means that when you check that our that lecture material of the ninth week in the 11th page, it is clearly mentioned that when a pipe is running full and half full, the ratio of velocities v by v is equal to one.
Your
The
voice,
ratio is
you are audible, but your voice is not clear.
okay, sir. Okay, okay.
So, I mean, whatever you are
Okay,
telling is correct because perimeter we are considering that only where the water is touching. Yeah. So it is true. So yeah, it is true. I
okay,
think
sir.
whatever you are stating here. Is it the perimeter? Yes, yes, yes. That only we can see. Yeah, where the water is touching, we are considering the full perimeter. Yeah. Wait, wait, wait. In the last problem, most probably the D diameter was considered, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I got it.
That is my doubt, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
the last problem was wrong in that sense. So yeah, I have to rectify that thing in the next class. Yeah, thank you for pointing this out.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes. You are everything.
One more,
Mhm. So yes, just genuine doubt and
one
thank you
more.
for pointing this mistake also. Yeah. So you are attentive very much. Thank you for this.
No, 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 no problem, sir. Just when I see, I get confused. That is why I just pointed out. That's all.
Ah, yes. So yes, so next class I remember that in the last problem the diameter, the perimeter was considered where the diameter was also considered, but the diameter is some area where the water is not touching the surface of the pipe. Yeah, right. So it should not be considered there for the calculation of the hydraulic radius. I'll definitely correct whatever the solution they have given it. There is wrong in it. So I will modify the solution in the next class and going to correct. Yeah, thank you for pointing. Yeah. So, but this problem, there is no doubt because the it is a full flow. So the water is touching the entire perimeter. So whatever they have given in this case, it is perfectly fine. Last problem, I think the answer will also be different. So if you consider like that way, yeah, next class we will again discuss that problem. The previous problem, we'll again discuss that in the next class. Okay. So
No needs. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
yeah, okay. So now this problem is correct, perfectly fine, but the formula remains the same. Only there is some problem regarding the determination of the hydraulic radius. So now the next and the second part of the problem is as usual. You have to calculate the discharge flowing through the seawater. So discharge you have to calculate in meter cube per second. Okay. Now as usual, the data estimated earlier is radius, which you determined from the diameter as zero point 0.3 meter. Velocity is 1.19 meter per second that we have just calculated correctly in this case. Now the solution will be based on these two. So volumetric rate of discharge, as I also discussed while discussing the statement, that you can, if the only discharge is asked and no unit is mentioned, you can calculate it in terms of mass rate of discharge also. So there is nothing wrong. Okay. If the temperature is given and density you know. So the Q will be weighted area into velocity. Weighted area is A, velocity is V. So again, if you see the area, it is under full flow condition. In previous problem, it was A by 2. Now it is A. So A will be pi r square into V. Now pi r is given as 0.3, so r square will be 0.09 meter square into the velocity is 1.19 meter per second. After multiplication, the volumetric rate of discharge will be 0.337 approximately meter cube per second. Okay. So yeah, in the last problem, as the velocity value will be different, so the volumetric rate of discharge of the last problem will also be different. Yeah, we will modify the entire problem and come out with a rectified solution later in the next class. So now next MSQ multiple select question is which one or more than one of the following statement is or are true regarding sewer pumping stations. Option A is pumping is required wherever gravity flow is not possible. Option B is design period for pumping systems is 30 years. Option C is pumping stations are similar to ones used in water supply. And option D is pumping stations for storm water are necessary in order to avoid flooding and or waterloggings. So take a couple of minutes to think. The more than one option may be correct, may or may not be correct. All the options may be correct also, or one or two options may be wrong also. So we can, yeah. So it is MSQ. So you have to think like that. This is Rajesh, what's your question? Rajesh, Rajesh telling ABC. Can you please? Yeah, I'm not able to hear you, Rajesh. I mean, I'm able to hear you, but your voice is not clear. Again, is there any wrong in my question? I don't think this question is wrong in any way. However,
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir, never, never.
okay, okay. So, yeah, the correct options will be option A, C, and D. So, Horibabu has stated it correctly. D is correct option. Pumping station for stormwater necessary in order to avoid flooding and or water logging. So, which we basically see in our country where the sewer system is incorrectly designed or improperly designed, or pumping station uh, are not provided for storm water. That's why you see flooding in many places in our country. So option D is correct. But option B is not correct. Why? Because the design period for pumping systems is 15 years. It is not 30 years. So this is some memory based thing you have to remember. That's why it is incorrect in this case. Okay. So now, or next, there is a table with certain terminologies and definitions, and you have to match the left hand terminologies with their correct definitions that is provided in the right hand column. So the terminologies are unit hydrograph method, lumped parameter model, distributed parameter model, non-linear reservoir method. And the definitions are uh, the method considers individual subbasins as a single unit, average value of watershed characteristics. Number two is the method is based on, or the model is based on direct runoffs resulting from a unit depth of 1 centimeter of excess rainfall occurring uniformly over the catchment area and at an uniform rate for a specific duration of time. Option 3 is used for the estimation of the runoff quantities for a single event and or long run simulations of runoffs mainly for the urban subcatchments. And number 4 is subdivides each subbasin further into smaller cells. Here what you can do, you can keep the order of the models or methods same as PQRS, and you can tell me the correct order of the right hand definitions. I'll wait for 1 minute. Yeah. So okay, I'll proceed with the solution. Where is it? Got it. So the correct order will be 2, 1, 4, 3. Unit hydrograph method is based on the direct runoffs resulting from a unit depth of 1 centimeter of excess rainfall occurring uniformly over a catchment area at a uniform rate for a specific duration of time. Lumped parameter model considers individual subbasins as a single unit, average value of watershed characteristics. Distributed parameter model subdivides each subbasin further into smaller cells, and nonlinear reservoir method is used for the estimation of the runoff quantities for a single event and or long-term simulations of runoffs, mainly in the urban subcatchments. Okay, now our, yeah, 2143. Correct. Okay, now we'll move on to our next MCQ. What causes ponding in stormwater drains? Option A, uneven drain bed and or absence of cleaning. Option B, inadequate cross section, formation of depressions and or settlements inside bed and or bed erosion. Option C is inadequate inverted slopes, and option D is less flow as compared to the designed sections. We're going to wait for few minutes, for 1 minute, because time is not left very much. What causes ponding in stormwater drains? Okay, we'll move on to the solution. So A, B answers. This is not an MSQ. This is MCQ. So one option will be correct, and the correct option is option B. You have identified it correctly, but A is not option. A is not the correct option. Inadequate cross section, formation of depressions and or settlements inside bed or bed erosion is the reason for stormwater drain ponding. Now the next MCQ is, which formula is used to estimate self-cleaning velocity of a sewer? Option A is Manning's formula, option B Darcy's formula, option C Shields formula, and option D Corps of Engineers USA formula, or COE formula it is sometimes called as. So which formula gives you the value of self-cleaning velocity? Now, yeah, again I will wait for 1 minute. I'm not giving you much times because very few time is left. Okay, we're going to move on to the solution. Yeah. So the answer is Shields formula. Shields formula is something that is used to estimate self cleansing velocity of a sewer. Okay. Darcy's formula is Manning formula. You know that Darcy's formula was used. It is sometimes also called as Darcy-Weisbach equation. It is used for estimation of the pressure drop in pipe, where you have to use the Darcy's friction factor as FD. You can also Fanning's friction factor F, and the relation was given as FD equals to 4F that was discussed in one of the earlier classes. And another one is Manning formula, the problems we solved based on the Manning's formula. One problem will also be rectified, that will be discussed in the next class. Okay. Now the MSQ, multiple set question, so more than one option may or may not be correct. Which one of the following is or are temporary erosion and or sedimentation control practices? Option A, mulching. Option B, seeding. Option C, sedimentation basin. And option D is backflow prevention devices. Yeah. Very few time is left. So quickly move on to the solution. So here the answers are option A, B, and C are correct. So mulching, seeding, and sedimentation basin all are temporary erosion or sedimentation control practices. But backflow prevention device is not a erosion or sedimentation control practice. Okay. Now, next MCQ is the different applications of SWMM software doesn't include, but the SWMM means the storm water management models. Option A is designing and or sizing of the drainage systems for flood controls. Option B is designing of sanitation facilities. Option C is flood plain mapping of natural channel systems. And option D is control strategies in order to minimize combined sewer overflows. So there are three of them will be the application of the stormwater management model software. Only one of them is not the application of the second. That only you have to add. Time is almost up. So I'll move on to the solution. Designing of sanitation facilities is not an application of SWMM software, but designing and sizing of drainage systems for flood controls, flood plain mapping of natural channel systems, and control strategies in order to minimize combined sewer flows. All of the three are application of SWMM. Now, the next and the last MCQ of today's session is which one is provided on the natural channels where bed and or banks aren't stabilized in case of open channel stormwater drainage system. Option A is curvature, option B is channel lining, option C is hydraulic routing, and option D is flyovers. Which one among them is provided on the natural channels where beds or banks aren't stabilized in case of open channel stormwater drainage design only? So yeah, you have identified it correctly, P. Horibabu. The correct answer will be channel linings. They are provided where beds and or banks aren't stabilized. Okay. So with this, we actually will end our today's session. Uh, D, B is the correct answer. You identified it correctly. D is not the correct answer. Flyovers. You may be imagining certain exotic picture from Europe, where you can see that they have provided certain channels for the river flow, and below which the below above the river is flowing, and below that channel there is road for moving of vehicles and all. So yeah. Actually, that is not the case here. It is because it is categorically mentioned. Uh, so it is stormwater drainage system. Yeah. So that is not a stormwater drainage system that you saw in the pictures of some European country. I forgot the name. This was not the stormwater drainage system. It is mentioned here as the open channel stormwater drainage system. So that's why channel lining is the right answer. Okay, so I hope you don't have any doubt. If you have any doubt, you can ask, or else we will end the session and we will again meet on. So all the September sessions are covered. We'll again meet on October. Only 2 sessions are left, and the wrong problem that was discussed in today's session, or you don't have to consider the perimeter which is not touching the surface of the pipe, that will be again rectified and discussed. But the concept that was central to today's session was the concept of volumetric flow rate and the mass flow rate, and also the I mean property mass and volume, these two property to determine the quantity of fluid also, be it a gas or liquid. So mass is a perfectly scientific way of stating the quantity of liquid also, that I wanted to reiterate. Okay. So with this, we will end our today's session. Okay. So goodbye and good night. We'll end the meeting for all. Bye bye.